All right, y'all. Welcome back to Two Marines React. Again, I'm Theo from Combat Arms Channel, and with me is Ryan from Dit Commando.
Hey, troops.
So we haven't done a video like this in a while, but we figured we'd jump right into it with a cool video. This one is actually from a YouTube channel called Ahoy, and they have like a bunch of video game and weapon content. But this one is just titled the UZI. So I guess we're going to learn a little bit about the UZI today. So I'm pretty excited. The UZI's, yeah, this thing's iconic. So let's get into it.
Some weapons earn their reputation in battle. Others are celebrated for their on-screen fame.
The video game.
To be known for
you better
both
believe it.
Is a rare thing indeed. The UZI.
Yeah, but
an Israeli SMG that seems to turn up everywhere. So, what made it such a popular export? Why is it a weapon of choice for action films? And what sort of person wields it?
Doom, now we're talking.
Yeah. So, real quick, have you actually managed to fire an UZI?
No, that's one, and it's actually one weapon system that, you know, I think every soldier wants to have a go of. The thing is, what I was shocked of when I first seen it is actually how big it is in comparison to what I thought it would be. Do you know what I mean?
Right. I think a lot of people usually think of like because I guess there's like a micro and a mini.
That's right,
UZI,
yeah.
which is generally what people think about. But yeah, it's huge. It's a lot bigger than you'd think.
Have you fired it? Have you?
And I don't know. It's kind of clunky. It's like got like an open bolt design, so it locks back, and then when it fires, it slams forward. So it's kind of clunky, kind of slow, but I guess it is pretty iconic.
Yeah.
The Middle East, 1948.
Israel's
a new nation is
right
born,
there.
Right on.
and immediately flung into conflict. The 1948 Arab-Israeli War was fought with equipment left over from World War II, a melange of obsolescent arms, a desperate need to standardize on something new.
The Enfield bolt action, that's a powerful
Israel's
weapon.
new weapon would be designed by Major UZI Gal of the IDF, and despite a request that it should not bear his name, the new submachine gun was officially adopted in 1951 as the UZI.
That's really interesting to find where it actually came from.
Manufactured from sheet metal, it was designed to be low cost and easy to produce. Compared to earlier SMG designs, the UZI is particularly compact, far shorter than either the earlier MP40 or Sten. This is because of the UZI's telescoping bolt. The reciprocating part surrounds the barrel as it moves forward, a feature borrowed from a prototype Czech weapon, the ZK-476. This allows for
I guess that is true in comparison to other weapons around the time. This is, I mean, this was coming out in like the early 50s, and it's competing with World War II stuff, so it probably looked pretty legit at the time.
Yeah, it's got a bit of a head start in terms of like the technology as well. Like you at least feel as if you've got a weapon that's superior, you know, just by the way it actually looks. I mean, this is a weapon system that still looks really cool today, you know, never mind in the 50s with this thing, you know.
Yeah, exactly. The stock alone is pretty iconic.
For a more compact action, and makes the central position of the magazine possible, integral with the grip, and particularly well balanced. This is an ergonomic configuration, with the user's hand naturally surrounding the magwell for more intuitive reloading. Its moderate rate of fire of 600 rounds per minute is quite manageable too, so the UZI's handling is favourable all round.
Really? Would you agree with that?
While the original is compact, some
it's
variants
slow, though.
are even smaller. Introduced in 1980, the Mini UZI is 80% of the size of the original and fires at an elevated 950 rounds per minute.
Now we're talking.
There you go.
And the smaller yet Micro UZI followed in 1986, firing an incredible 1,200 rounds per minute.
Really? That's insane.
Man. That's so funny, though.
Cheap, abundant, and a step up from World War II era weapons. As military forces modernized in the middle of the 20th century, the UZI was a compelling choice for many. With over 10 million made, it has proven a huge commercial success and has seen post-war service in countries all around the world.
Yeah, you know, I do think gameplay has attracted like its notoriety as well. I think people definitely recognize this from the action movies and the computer games. You know, that's certainly where I've learned about this weapon system. You know, in terms of its existence, I think it's definitely been pushed through a lot more through action movies and gameplay, just by the look of it. You know, especially in the 80s, the retro time, that was the weapon of choice, wasn't it? You know.
Yeah, I mean, you have like stuff like video games and movies, but even like in popular culture. So, for example, the MP5 with the SAS and the Iranian embassy siege,
Exactly.
that was iconic. I think there's like a Secret Service dude pulling out an Uzi,
Yeah,
and that was like pretty iconic. So, yeah, it is funny how you sort of see this stuff through its notoriety.
While weapons like the MP5 would eventually supplant it in service, the Uzi wasn't so eager to retire. Instead, it took center stage during the rise of the action film.
that game looks pretty cool, by the way.
On-screen firearms
I know,
have
a
to
lot of
look the
these do.
part. And for the emerging trend of urban present-day settings in cinema, a wooden wartime relic simply wouldn't do. The Uzi's exterior was distinctive. Its ability to rapidly dispense rounds, perfect to punctuate an on-screen point. Best
Man,
of all,
bringing it
it can
back.
be held
Yes.
one-handed. Easier to point with,
Look at them reloads,
better for
mate.
close-ups. And of course,
Akimbo
it could be used two
reload.
at once.
Yeah, do you remember doing your Akimbo reload training whilst in the Marines?
Yeah. Yep, totally. The
It's-
Akimbo ranges.
Millions manufactured meant huge surplus. An ample supply made sure that the price was right. So its modern appearance, high availability, and low cost made it a very appealing choice for Hollywood armorers.
It is pretty cheap to make.
Today, the Uzi boasts a filmography that would make Schwarzenegger blush. Its presence harks to the golden age of gunfighting action. A reckless one-handed reminder of such a time in Max Payne 3, with its analog screen distortion
look at
evoking
that.
VHS bloodshed.
Look at this.
It's also the perfect fit for the Hollywood-inspired pace of Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2.
Yeah.
Very
Compact
true.
and lightweight, it's always
In
nimble
fact-
and normally shoots fast.
You know what? That was the game that really like made me love that weapon system. If I would like, it's just brought
Yeah.
memories back. That's the first game really for me. I'm not sure about you.
Yeah, so Call of Duty 4 especially, I remember had the mini Uzi,
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
rocked that a bunch. That and the P90. So
Yeah.
just playing those games made them pretty iconic for me.
Awesome, man.
A natural fit for frantic action. With its cinematic credentials, it is easy to forget that the Uzi is very much a proven design. Military,
This
police,
narrator's awesome.
Secret Service,
Yeah.
Special Task Force. Carried by all, and no stranger to conflict. However, the very
Nice.
qualities that made it so popular, the cost, automatic fire, and compact size, have also lent the weapon a more malevolent side.
Here's a question for you
Oh.
then. I don't know if you know this. You know how like obviously the Great Britain we use like as a standard weapon system the SA-80 A3 now. The Marines have got the
Yeah.
C8 as standard. Is there a nation that actually uses an Uzi as a standard weapon system? Or do you reckon it's more of a
I don't-
standalone missions, you know, different things that they get up to that might adopt it, but as a standard? I don't recall anyone using it as a standard.
Maybe some like one-off police units. I know the Israeli Defense Forces has the new Uzi Pro, which is like even more compact.
Really?
So they're the only people that I can think about that still utilize an Uzi variants
Yeah.
normally.
For all its official use, the Uzi boasts an undeniable criminal streak. It is the
Like a
perfect
Tommy
choice
gun.
True.
for a drive-by shooting. Under such circumstances, marksmanship can go out the window. It's spray and pray tactics that are needed. And the
GTA.
high fire rate and one-handed grip are in tune with this demand. References to the weapon in this fashion are a fixture of gangster rap,
Oh, that's a
a
bad
weapon of
day for him.
influence throughout cinema, as well as in games
Looks
like
like
Grand
fun.
Theft Auto.
Yeah.
No doubt, a weapon of broad experience and diverse operation. It defies any single role. Freedom fighter, muscle-bound mercenary, drug baron. It has served them all.
That's a good
Neither
point.
particularly good
Yeah,
nor
it's true.
evil. A weapon for all with the means to pay. One that straddles any moral alignment. Half criminal, half maverick. All mercenary. And total chaos.
Hell yeah.
A vanguard of post-war firepower. Arguably the first
snap.
modern SMG.
2003.
A capable design whose success was ensured by mass production at a low cost. When its useful service expired, it found a new lease of life in Hollywood and forged a legend anew.
It's so cool though.
UZI.
It's a good weapon system.
Classic subgun. Major export. Action hero.
Nice.
Thank you.
So I'm trying to think what was coming into my mind then is why is it the criminal's weapon of choice? Like, is it because
I
it's
don't know.
cool? Do you know what I mean? Is it because it's cheap? Probably
think
because
so.
it's cheap, right?
I think it's because it's like iconic. So
Yeah.
with a lot of firearms, especially with like, I mean, gold-plated stuff you'll usually see in the hands of gangs, but stuff
Yeah.
like the Desert Eagle, there's usually a lot of weapons that the military won't really mess with because it doesn't really work that great for their purpose. But it's kind of funny that this is like a dual-hatted, sort of serving both of those purposes.
Yeah. That was a pretty cool video.
I think it is just because it's cool. Yeah, it is I love these videos so much. Just 'cause, again, you get like the history, but at the same time, you see all the cool video game footage as well.
What would you say your knowledge on weapon systems is like? I mean, I think people automatically assume because I was a Royal Marines commando that I know everything about weapons. But for me, it's just not the case. I know quite a bit about the weapon systems that I use personally, but outside of that, it's not really something that I've like educated myself on. So I'm pretty brand new when it comes to like alternate weapon systems. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I learned a lot of these through like Call of Duty, and then I would get like the airsoft gun, and I just Google it because I was like a nerd like that.
So you're
but you don't really
interested.
get a whole lot of exposure to this. Yeah, so I mean, it's kind of like ways like that, but not necessarily through the service.
Yeah, that's cool, man. I think if anyone's watching this, if you've managed to fire one of these weapon systems, let us know in the comments what it was like, because I can imagine it being pretty fun. I mean, you say it's quite awkward to use, right? But it looks fun.
Yeah, it's kind of clunky compared to a lot of other things like the P90 or MP5.
Right, that's cool, man. Man, you're so lucky to have even tried them things.
Yeah, it is a cool gun. So again, like you're saying, if you guys have fired it, let us know down in the comments section what you thought about it compared to like maybe some other firearms that you've used, especially if you're in the Israeli Defense Forces. Let us know if you guys actually utilize this as much as I thought. Because when I trained with the IDF, it was pretty much like the SF guys that had like the new Uzis. But yeah, really cool video. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. I don't know if you have anything else to say about this, but I gotta say, I love the Uzi, I love firearms, and this is just a really cool video.
Yeah, no, I second that. Fantastic video. Guys, if you did like it, please like, share, and subscribe to both of our channels. The links will be in the description for both of our channels, but you know who we are by now, troops, okay? And yeah, whatever you're doing, have a fantastic day, and we'll see you in the next one.